welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans. I'm Liz.
I'm Carolyn.
And you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as 2LizForYou, TOOLIZZFORYOU. Wow, I just totally forgot how to spell my username.
And I needed to know how to do that this morning because we bought tickets to Wool and Folk.
Yes.
It's Wool and Folk.
Yes.
And it's going to be Thursday of Rhinebeck weekend.
Yes.
Exactly where, I don't have any clue. But
it's in Kingston.
Sending us an email. And they're saying, oh, it's just across the bridge. Well, if any of you have ever tried to get to Jill Draper's little party at Rhinebeck, after spending the day at Rhinebeck, you know that it's not always easy to get to Kingston. So I would make plans. It's going to be all day on the Thursday. And there should be adequate parking.
Yes.
There's going to be, you have the opportunity to buy a one-day bus ticket
from New York City, from Brooklyn,
right.
Up and back that day.
That day, that's what I meant. That day, it should be a heck of a bus ride. There's going to be a lot of women drunk on yarn fumes. But it should be fun.
They said they're going to have about 6 bands that are also going to play. They're going to have some makers featured to talk about
and there's
things.
A maker that sings.
That's Little Fox Yarns. She's going to have her trio with her.
So it should be a lot of fun. We managed to get the tickets by 10:10 this morning, and I posted on Instagram. My name is Carolyn, and I'm CPRUDMOR on Ravelry, and I've been posting as Knitting in Our Jeans on Instagram, and I posted nearly every day last week.
You did. I was very impressed.
Away. Well, there were different things. I love the wild turkeys.
Things. The turkeys were something else.
The wild turkeys were, because we've been attacked by wild turkeys in a car before in the Poconos. And here we are in a car, and this turkey runs out into the middle of the street, wings fully extended, and he's pecking at the car. So,
good.
Wild turkeys are nothing to fool with. They're kind of like raccoons. They may look cute, but they can be
terrifying,
vicious when get too close. So don't try to interact too closely with the raccoon or wild turkeys. We saw deer up in Maine. They were small deer, so I don't know whether they were
adolescents
or whether they're genetically small. I don't know. I honestly had, I think, a lobster roll once and then had crab cakes. I've gotten to the point where I have had so many lobster, and a friend of ours always makes us lobster when we go to her house, that I'm a little tired of fighting with my food. So I did not order a whole lobster, but I had a lot of Maine crab cakes, and they were delicious.
Good.
For those of you who don't know, we had gone up to Bar Harbor in order to go hiking at Acadian National Park. We had bought our senior passes,
years ago.
Well, this is a senior pass for the car, so that we don't have to pay for parking. So we bought it whenever we hit that minimum age. And it's good forever, as long as you don't lose it. And it was good for us. So you do now have to make reservations for driving up Cadillac Mountain. There are so many people that want to go see the sights from Cadillac Mountain, from the top of Cadillac Mountain. I believe it's the only peak they have that you can drive up. That now there's a reservation system. It was not difficult to get a reservation. I mean, Rich called at about 10 o'clock that morning, got a reservation for 1 o'clock that afternoon. We made our lunches, and we went on up and had lunch at the top. We didn't do a lot of hiking. We hiked.
And why is that, Mom?
Well, I'll tell you.
Okay.
On Friday, did we hike on Friday?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
We hiked Wonderland. I want to say that was Saturday. Sunday, we hiked Ship to Shore, which was lovely and getting a little bit more rocky. But if you remember, I had been walking a mile plus a day here at home, but we're on the flat. On Monday, we went to the Lower Hadlock Pond Loop, which is rated easy. We were trying all the easy paths first, and I had both my hiking sticks. I had packed a knee brace, and we hiked in. And we got about a third of the way around, And I was going down a bit of a slope, and instead of having steps put into the path, they were using the roots to hold back a ledge of earth. And my left foot slipped on one of the roots, and I wrenched my knee. I rolled it right over good. But I didn't fall down, so I didn't fall on it. I just twisted it. And it hurt. So I went a little bit further just to see if it wasn't just a shock. And then said, we have to go back. I don't even feel comfortable finishing going around, because even though it was a loop, I had no idea how far around the loop we had gone. Turns around, it was about a third. And Rich says that the last part of it would have been treacherous, because one of the, I think that's where he said, one of the bridges over a stream or some body of water was a single log bridge.
Oh, good.
And I easily could have fallen on that. I'm going to sneeze at some point.
Okay.
I can tell. So anyway, we walked back. I was able to self-rescue. We watched a lot of Northwood's Law while we were gone, so I learned about self-rescuing. I had my 2 hiking sticks. I put on the knee brace, and we slowly made our way out. The only thing I didn't have was a whistle.
But you had your husband.
I had Richard, so he could be quite loud. He could run up to the road. He could do all kinds of things.
He was your alert system in an emergency.
Yes. So I got back to the car. We drove back to the hotel. We immediately iced it. I iced it for 24 hours, on for 20 minutes, off for about a half an hour, on for 20 minutes, off. Kept the knee brace on it, took it off at night, put it back on in the morning, and it would give me a stabbing pain in my knee the entire rest of the time I was in Maine. Every time I put weight on it. When I didn't have weight on it, it was pretty okay after the first day. So I called my GP on the way home, and I sent him a note the night before. Said I need a script for physical therapy because I sprained my knee. And he says, you really need to get in touch with your orthopedist to make sure you didn't do anything else. I remember I have a dental appointment tomorrow.
Okay.
All these physicians, you know. So I said, okay, I'll call. So tomorrow I will call the orthopedist. Meanwhile, the knee, having rested while I drove the 9.5 hours from Maine, because it was my left knee, not my right one, was fine. And it's been fine, pretty fine. I mean, a little stiff, but pretty fine since we've been home. So, little disappointed that we didn't get more hiking in, because I was really hoping to get around Jordan Pond next time. And it's quite obvious to me that my activity level has to include more up and down. As Jim was saying yesterday, I need to include some more uneven ground to get the muscles engaged. So we will be working on that. And I may be back in physical therapy, which is fine. At least that way I'm not liable to further injure myself by just doing exercises willy-nilly. I'll be fine. Was doing my exercises before we left. I just obviously have to work with more uneven ground. And Richard says that when I'm given the stamp of okay, we will go and hike the Northway, which starts in Huntington and goes all the way down to the southern shore. So we start out by doing a mile down and back, and then we do 2 miles down and back, and so we'll just keep extending ourselves. So he already thought about how we're going to get better at this.
Okay.
Yes, and yes, I'm wearing a knitting needle in my dress. I finished my dress.
Let's start with, what did we finish?
Yes, I finished my dress. Yes. And I think it's a perfect walking dress because it's really light and breezy. And I think it's a perfect dress to wear over your swimsuit when you go to the pool. I'm really pleased with it. What I'm not pleased is with the yarn necessarily. The yarn just comes apart if you look at it cross-eyed. It's a Noro, and it's
a single ply.
See, and it just shifts. It just,
Yeah.
And while I was knitting, it came apart twice. While I was sewing up one side seam, it came apart. So at that point, I said, I've got some wool that is the same color combination or very similar. And I used the wool to finish that side seam and do the entire rest of the side seam.
That's good.
John
Brinegar
showed us how to do seams, to sew seams in our knitwear so that it doesn't show. And so I could have used, well, fuchsia would have been fine, but I could have used black, and you can see how the knitting needle shows up as black. So the reason this is here is Liz was looking at me in my dress and said, I think you've dropped the stitch. So she has.
There are 3 that are dropped, at least.
Or the yarn has broken.
But I was like, don't move!
We will fix this.
Don't move! And the only thing I could find was a knitting needle, and so that's what we put in there because it was important.
We will fix it. Now, let's see. Yeah, this is the cast off, so I easily could have missed something as I'm casting off. I do that.
But the thing is it's in it, so I'm not sure.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, I finished this while we were away, and I was able to finish the sewing of it, I think, Friday.
Yeah.
Or Saturday morning, something like that.
I
finished a couple other things.
Oh, really?
Yes, I did. This is square number 7. Well, I don't really know the pattern number that it is, but it's the 7th square, and it was downstairs blocking, so it's a little damp, and it's a little falling out of shape. So after we talk to you all, I will go back and put it on its block. This one was really easy. It actually took me 2 days to finish. I find it difficult to knit on vacation. There's so many other things to do. And we were just having a great time. We stayed at the Hampton Inn in Bar Harbor. It's not on the water. It's on the top of the hill. Very clean. They're very concerned about COVID precautions. The breakfast was wonderful. The room was not musty at all, and I've had some problems with some of the hotel rooms in Bar Harbor being musty because they are so close to the water. This was great. I didn't have a headache until the day the storm came through. That was Ida?
Yeah,
Ida.
yes, that was Ida.
And I knew what that headache was from, so not a problem. So I finished that one, and I have just finished this one. So this is square number 8. This is square number 4 in the pattern. But it is the 8th square
that you finished.
That I have done. And after we talk to you, I will also go and I've woven in all my ends on this.
Wow.
And I will dunk it and stretch it out on a block also and get this to the right shape. So I actually have this one. Well, I did 2 while we were away. I have 2 more that need to be blocked, so I will take those downstairs. And that is what I finished while I was away. What did you finish?
Nothing.
Nothing. Do you want to say what you worked on?
I finished nothing. But I have been slowly working on a test knit, as we all have seen previously. This is for our friend. So I should be getting to separation of the sleeves momentarily. And then I will continue with the body for a little bit, as per usual. Then I will do the sleeves, and then I will go back to the body. I have not had much knitting mojo, which is funny because we'll get to the part where I have things planned, and I have yarn picked out for things now, and it's a whole thing. But instead, I've been working on my cross stitch. So I had wanted to finish this whole section by now, but that just didn't happen. These book spines are actually extremely intricate. So I have gotten 2 book spines completed for the Lana series. I'm finishing the fill-in portion here of the nameplate section of the 4th one, and then finishing up with the 2 exterior colors for the 3rd and the 4th are the same, so I'll just fill those in, and then I'll come back and I'll do, there's a cat that goes here and a shield that goes here, and then I'll fill in the wood fill for the block. But
very nice. I love it.
It is. I'm loving it, and I'm loving working on it. It's just, it's way more intricate than I thought it was going to be. I didn't realize it was going to take as much time as it is, but that's okay.
It'll be lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, I figured out why I don't get as much done while we're away, because at home here I have a lamp that is almost right over my head. Yes. It's actually off to the side, and it's a very bright lamp. I made sure I brought one that could hold a very high wattage bulb and it gives me enough light to work. And it's one of the reasons why I didn't sew this together while we were away, because I really couldn't see it well at night, and we were trying to do hiking during the day. Yes. But I worked on other things during the day. So I had bought watercolor pencils, and I haven't tested
the watercolor part of them.
The watercolor part of them. They're called prismatic color, soft core, and you're supposed to be able to make pictures and then use your water brush and make something else out of them for blending, etc. So anyway, I had this with me. I had bought a couple extra black pencils from a different company to see if there was a difference in how well they worked, the hardness, etc. And while Richard went hiking,
yes,
I started to draw.
Oh my
since
goodness!
I couldn't walk. Now let's see if I can find where I started this. That's weird. My pictures are not showing up.
They're definitely in there. Maybe you passed them already? Where did they go?
I don't know where they went. I had 3 or 4 pictures in here. That's a riot. We showed them to Lorraine yesterday.
Yeah, we did.
Oh my goodness, the fairies have come and taken my pictures. Oh, this is wild. Maybe this is the empty one?
Is this the one? Did you bring it from downstairs?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, from the table. Maybe not. No, there's another one here.
Oh, there's another one here. We're not losing our minds, y'all.
Well, it was
not yet.
It was a 2-for-1 sale.
I know, but we're not losing our minds just yet, y'all. So, this is good.
Yes, I have lost my 9. I'm retired. Anyway, you can see they're exactly the same.
Yes, they are exactly the same.
And this was my first try. And this I started doing on the Wonderland Trail. And I actually thought I had my brush with me. And what I liked is the trail leads you right down to the shore. And, of course, there's this little tiny island out in the middle of the water and everything. So that was my first attempt. I thought I got the horizon fairly in the right place. So that I was pleased with. This I'm not pleased with. This is a gatehouse that is by Hadlock Pond Loop. And I'm thinking that this might be better as a watercolor. So I really do want to take a brush to it and see if I can mute and move some of the colors in and get some more shading in there. These towers are built as hexagonals, so they do have those hard edges that come down, but it seems very Grandma Moses to me. And either I embrace my Grandma Moses-ness or I get better. And then the next thing I drew was Bar Harbor from the top of Cadillac Mountain. So Bar Harbor, whoops, would be down in here. And then this is Bar Island. And these are some of the other 2 little islands that are right off Bar Harbor. And then this is the mainland. And I was really pretty happy with this one. It actually needs to be painted a little bit flatter to be exactly like
Bar Harbor. The view.
The view. And I took pictures of views so I could work on it while I was home. And then I was playing with various studies of plants and rocks and things. So, a new hobby. Excellent to have with you when you do something silly and can't go on the walk. Because all I had to bring was this and this.
Nice.
And I was fully outfitted. And that was great. I had a couple little kids at the top of Cadillac Mountain look over and say, "That looks really good."
Aww.
So, thank you very much. I told them that I was pretty pleased with it also. And I am. As for a first attempt, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Very, very pleased. What else are you working on, my dear?
So I started today so what I showed you before was the Tamora Pierce Stitch Along. If you didn't recognize it, it's been around for a little while now in our lives. But I'm also doing the Cryptid Stitch Along by Witchy Stitcher. So the first one was released this week. I'm not showing it too much, just because I don't want to share the secret sauce. It is a paid for pattern, but I did start it, and I did the frame around the first creature. I kind of want to get a scroll frame for it, though, because it is quite large, and I want to be able to keep working the frame, as it needs to be.
You have all those frames.
I do have all of those frames. I don't have the right size Q. The right size Q snap is, I think, in another project.
Must be yours. It's not mine.
Oh, it's one of mine. Okay. I just don't know where. Oh, so okay. I was thinking of trying a scroll for this one because why not? But we'll see. So I did all of this today, right? I did this just today. Yeah. No, I started it yesterday. Sorry. I wanted to do it. No. Because I screwed up over here, and I had added a stitch, and I was very upset.
She had to take it all out.
Yeah. But I had started going this way, so it was fine. I didn't actually have all that much to do. But this, the one funny thing is that Witchy Stitcher is known for her use of black thread, so DMC 310. So she has what she calls her cone of doom, which is the little creature down there, which is a cone of DMC 310. And so I actually ended up buying a cone of DMC 310. So now I have a cone of it, which is 100 grams, I think.
Oh, wonderful.
I think I don't think I'll use all of it up on this project. I might. Who knows? It is a lot of black with a little bit of color. And this is on...
It is witchy and Halloween.
I know. And I'm really excited because there's a bunch of people on Instagram who I follow and who I talk to that are doing it. And two of my best friends are doing it with me. And then I just found out another one of my best friends from college is doing it too. So, it's a fun one. And I have realized that I am just a smiley goth kid. I really like dark, creepy things, apparently.
I like them too.
I know, and we're coming into this. But the cryptids, I was like, I'm totally not going to do it. Totally not going to do it. I don't need another, stitch along. Project. I don't need another stitch along that I'm going to fall behind on.
I guess you do.
It's cryptids. How could I say no? So, that'll be fun.
I didn't know about it. That's how I said no.
I know. I didn't tell you about it specifically.
That's good.
Because I also felt like Dad might be a little creeped out by it.
He might. He gets creeped out really easily.
He does.
I told him about the Asylum Advent Calendar last time. So what I did while I was away was I tell him about Westknitting. Westknits. He's got his annual shawl pattern.
Yes, he does.
And I signed up for that, so I bought that.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Do you have colors picked out?
I was thinking that for my pop color, I was going to get your
3 colors. Or it's 5 colors.
I was going to use like shades of gray and then get your tits out.
Okay.
And the really bright one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll show you.
So while we're on the topic of the new Westknit Knit Along, which I think is called Shawlography this year.
Yes, it is.
I also have been thinking about doing it.
Well, I already bought it.
I didn't yet, because I said I'm going to stash dive first. So I noticed I have these 3 very fall colors. They're tweeds. They were already going to be used in a shawl together. And they reminded me of this gradient I have called Sugar Maple from Miss Babs. And so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 7 colors. So I figured if I could, match these up, these kind of go, here. Maybe I get a green. That green's a little bright, but that green could work. Maybe I get another yellow. I'm not sure yet. Maybe I get a lighter orange or a more medium color in between here. That's kind of what I was thinking for my shawlography. I'll have to tell you all this again once Mother comes back and once she picks out her yarn from behind us. But yes, that's what I was thinking. And one of the things that I was going to bring up today. Oh, we found something. You can see behind me. We found something. Oh, yeah, I had that problem earlier this week. I had this problem. I was like, oh, I'll use this. And then it's fingering weight, but it comes in 200 yard put up. And I was like, really?
This is brown.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, I thought that.
Okay. Is it, because I thought it could be, I thought it just had to be 5 colors that work together.
Oh, here's the really bright one.
He said not to use too much speckles.
Right.
So this is my really bright one.
Yeah.
So I could do that.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's very you.
And I could wear it anywhere.
Yes. So that's what Mom's talking about.
And I think that's 2 of the
Yeah, that's unapologetic.
This is Yarnic,
and this is exposure. This is asylum.
Yes.
So what I was thinking, because I have the one that's the copper and green.
Mm-hmm.
I have the one that's like grays and purples from last year that I still need to finish. And then I was thinking, well, maybe I want to do a fall one. So I thought about these 3 colors I have. And I think these will work really well. I like these 3 together, but I don't know what else to do. So I then got inspired and looked at my stash, and I saw I have this. So why don't I use this as my, not as another color maybe, but as a inspiration.
Okay.
So I figured
oh, I see what you did.
maybe we pull in this green.
Okay.
And then I need a 5th color, and I'm trying to figure out where to go.
I'm thinking maybe there.
Maybe a darker green. That's a teal. Maybe like the square, maybe? Actually.
I think the teal.
The teal? The teal works on camera. Yeah. So maybe we'll do that. They both work.
I think this is a little dull.
That's a little dull? Okay. But yeah, so that's what I was thinking, because I was looking at the last 2 that I have, and I figured this was already set aside for a shawl, so repurposing it for another shawl doesn't seem so bad to me, because I really didn't want to break into a colorwork sweater plan.
Right.
So, okay, maybe I'll find a teal in my stash.
Yeah. Because I don't see any of his things that have like dullish colors.
Right, but I also
is how I see that.
Right, and I didn't see the kits all sold out before I could like go look at them as examples, and I haven't watched the video yet. But what I've been seeing from everyone is that it's 5 colors. Like it's not.
He has a range of grays, and he has one that's a beautiful range of grays.
Right, and I thought this.
And then he has some that are like, whoa.
Right, so I thought a nice, inspired by this. I thought it would be interesting if I could have ended up using this, but since we don't know what it's going to look like, I feel like I can't use minis.
Right, we don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't know.
But I am amused that we both
did
it without talking to each other.
So yeah, I did sign up for that. I also signed up for his class.
Right? You had
which
been
I haven't done anything with, but it got me thinking about a sweater made out of
minis.
Yes. So I'm going to use. I think I have a dark gray that I brought with me. I didn't start it. I do have a pattern in mind. I'd be using someone else's pattern, but then striping the minis in the sweater. So I didn't get to start that. As I said, the lighting was not. The only thing wrong with the room is that it didn't have great lighting for nighttime. It needed maybe a floor lamp. I noticed the Marriott maybe has adjustable. I mean,
Yeah.
I couldn't get it bright enough.
Okay.
So I didn't do as much work. The other thing I did is I signed up. I read my Indie Untangled.
Yes.
And in the Indie Untangled, they talked about a knitting
Knitrino?
app.
Right.
Knitrino. And I think either the app is free and then you buy the patterns. It's kind of like Knit Companion.
Okay.
Only they're really nice people. I signed up. I said I was going to do the Colorwork sweater, and they're starting a knit along on this on Wednesday on the Colorwork sweater.
Nice.
They have 2 sweaters, so maybe you can pick either one. I think it's worsted weight, but it's only an app. It's not a website.
Okay.
You can go to the website for support questions and things like that. I can tell you they're very responsive to emails because I got a instant note back saying, "Oh, and what are you going to be making?" I said, "Listen, I have to confess that I'm away on vacation. I'm not going to be home till the 4th of September. It's going to take me a little while to figure this out. I'll stash dive when I get home." And one of the 2 presidents of the company has written me back a couple times. We were going back and forth for a good half an hour. So they're lovely women. And I think that they will give you more helpful advice in terms of knitting. If you're doing a technique that you're not familiar with or a little rusty on.
You think they just have more experienced knitters in their help?
I think that they're more interactive with the people, whereas Knit Companion, I've never had a problem with them, but I don't get the feeling that I'm getting a response back from a person with such immediacy. So you might want to look into it. I will be making a yoke colorwork sweater. It's down on my iPad, however. I did. Oh, and the question I have is, what if you decide before you start the pattern that you want to make a different size? And they wrote back and said, well, what you need to do is delete the one you've got and then load the other one because their patterns are multi-sized. It's just that they want you to focus only on the directions.
Only the directions for the one size.
Right.
Okay.
So you're not highlighting.
Well, that's
stuff
helpful.
Like that. It is helpful. I think. Well, I'll let you know how helpful it is. So I do have to pick out yarn from where I'm going to find yarn.
Oh, the horror.
I know. What else did I buy?
Oh, well, I got something in the mail last week or 2 weeks ago that I meant to mention to you all.
I bought something else that's knitting related, and I don't remember. I bought it while I was gone, so we'll see when it shows up.
So I got some yarn from Lizz, which is Greek. She's Greek, and
she's lovely.
She is lovely.
We met her at Rhinebeck, 2 years ago?
2 years ago, and we met her at Indie, or not Indie. We met her at Indie. We met her at Vogue as well.
Right.
So this is Lizz, and I have the colors.
I love that.
Your Own Shadow, Star Wars, and Le Louvre. And she had them in a post that was just, they looked so good together, and I decided that they needed to come home because I had had a really bad day. And that was a few weeks ago.
Emotional buying. I
mean, I think it was when I found out. I think it was during the height of finding out my friend had passed. So, yes, emotional buying. So I bought that. And then, so last time we were here, we spoke about the new Pom Pom magazine.
Yes, which is
here somewhere. So, remember the Caledonia from Catherine, this one? Where is it?
Oh no, we lost it. No.
Yes. So this, I really love it. I've been seeing it on Instagram for a while because Catherine from Brooklyn General is the one who designed it.
Oh.
And so she's also the one who did the Iccho and did the Noctune. It's a monarch butterfly kind of one.
Okay.
So I'm thinking about making one, but making it slightly different.
Okay.
So this being my main color,
Right.
which is a brown brown yak by Hedgehog Fibers. It was their yak that they had for a few years, and yes, it smells, and I've already washed it twice, and I can't get it out.
I was watching the camera freeze.
Yeah. And then these two, which are yak blends.
Oh, lovely.
They're Silk Merino yak blends from Lola Bean.
I can see Lola Bean.
And then this
Very
also.
nice.
So I'm thinking that will be something together. I thought it'd be a really interesting take because the colors that Catherine works in are very earthy. And my typical color palette is not.
Right.
As we all know, but I thought it would still work
I do
really
like
well.
her gray.
I do too. But I
so
thought it
it's
would
very
work
nice.
really well.
So anyway, Knitrino's
Yes.
starting their knit along on Wednesday.
Yes.
So I do have to get on the stick and get
Find
my
yarn.
find my colors and get ready. They're going to have a Zoom meeting
Oh,
on Wednesday at 6 o'clock.
oh
So if
very
you don't
nice.
need dinner at 7, I can be there for a little bit of it.
Yay!
Yay! So I did that, and as I said, they're very nice. And I worked on something else while I was away.
Oh my word! You worked on so much.
I know!
I just fell asleep on the couch.
Well, I did a lot of sleeping, too.
Well, I mean, I'm
Whoops.
also. What is happening?
I don't know.
know.
I don't know. But
Okay,
I don't think
we're still recording though.
I think so, too. Good.
Okay.
Close. Go away. I think we're still recording.
The computer just said, "Oh no, something happened." So we hope you're still with us.
It looks like it's still
Yeah.
recording. So anyway, here's my sweater.
Oh, it looks so good.
My Kohana.
Yeah.
It has about 4 more inches to go. Apparently my row length was not, my stitch gauge was fine. My row gauge was not fine because I have done the required number of lace panels, of lace designs, repeats, that's the word, down the side, and it's still not long enough. But that's fine because I did some shaping on this. So what I decided to do, they had 3 different choices in the lace panels. A modified a straight, a modified A-line, and then a wide A-line. So what I did was at the bust level is I did a modified A-line, and then I went and I did one of those patterns, and then I decreased, no, I did 2 of those, I can see it here. Then I decreased down into doing only the straight pattern, and I did that for 3 of them, and now I have gone back to the modified A-line. So I've gone wide, and then I straight down, and then I'm widening out again. And I will continue to do that until I run out of yarn. I've got, I believe, 2 more balls of this cotton left, and I've got about this much of a ball that I'm working with. It's only 50 grams per ball, so it's not like I'm going to make a dress out of this.
Right.
I will say that I bought this cotton by length, this Noro by length, and I bought enough to make another dress. So I'm not quite sure how that happens when you buy it by the yardage, and the yardage is so off. But
I don't know.
I have no idea. Anyway, I like the dress. This, I think, is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I really like that one.
So I'm going to try to devote 2 days a week to this until I get it finished.
Okay.
But I'm getting a little bored with
Yeah.
it. The needles, I have stuck my thumb several times. I used my left hand index finger and my right thumb to move needles and stitches. And I have, while I was away, I caused a hole in my thumb twice. So, because the needle is, I think it's a size 3.
3, yeah. I was gonna say I don't tend to poke a hole in my thumb for anything under a 4, like for anything
It's a 2.
larger than a 4. So yeah.
It's a size 2.
Yeah.
So it's a small metal tipped needle.
Did you just fling a stitch marker on the ground?
No, I flung the yarn.
Oh, also good.
And I didn't want the ball to unroll because it unrolls so easily.
Mm.
So anyway, I have done a lot of work on that. I've done no work on anything else. And so I have at least 2 sweaters that I didn't work. I had the other cotton sweater that I didn't work on. I didn't work on my Hopi Locatelli. And I didn't work on the sweater that I was going to start. So now, of course, I've got the striped sweater that I want to start. I've got the color work yoke sweater.
Yeah.
And then I've got my counted crosses that I'd like to get back to.
I know.
But I finished a dress. I'm doing, and I need to do another square. I figure if I keep doing a square a week, I only have 8 more squares to do. So
take you 2 months.
I'll get it done for Christmas, and I can stitch it, get it together.
Yeah.
And it will be good. So I think I'm doing okay. I have not started any of the toys.
I haven't started any of the gifts for
I think I'd like to finish
nuggets.
my mom's Afghan first.
Yeah.
And then that leaves me November to work on the toys.
Yes, we are.
Yes. So, any other news?
No, I mean, not really.
Your father wasn't upset I bought the watercolor pencils and
Well, that's
the
good.
sketch pads. I said, I could be another Grandma Moses. This could be a whole new career.
Good.
Actually, what I'm thinking is if I can get relatively good, then I can make sketches of the places that we visit, and then we can hang them up when we get home.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with the Bar Harbor one.
The Bar Harbor one's really good.
Yeah. And I think the Gatehouse could be good with a different technique. I just think I was too literal trying to draw it.
Yeah.
But then, as I said, I was hoping to make it watery.
Yeah.
And I think by watery, I could get some of the moodiness in.
Yeah.
I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
Once we get through some of the worst of this COVID spike and spiking, maybe I'll take an art class or 2.
Oh my word! Look at you using
much
your
fun.
retirement time.
I know. I am sorry we don't have a boat, so we are boatless. We are no boating it, and it is not fun.
No, this weekend
Richard
was
came home after
significantly
helping a friend of ours do work on his boat, and he said, George has found a new boat for you. There's a boat at the dock next to our boat club, and he thinks it's perfect for you. If you want to look it up, it's called Q5 Quintessential Catamaran. It's only 100 feet long.
And probably about that much in millions of dollars.
too. We looked it up online. It looks gorgeous inside. It would come with a crew. It would solve all those problems. You know, you wouldn't.
I mean, okay, if it comes with a crew, I can understand its price tag.
It comes with a crew. Well, it's meant to be crewed.
Right, but I don't know if
Yes.
when you buy it, you get the crew.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
but obviously it has a crew that's used to working it, and so you could hire them.
Yeah.
I told Richard I'd have to buy some lottery tickets. So
Yeah.
I'm going to have to start doing that and going out twice a week and buying lottery tickets. I mean, there could be worse things in this world.
I mean,
I could add it to my walk.
you could add it to your walk.
I bet I could get them at the Walgreens.
I think you can.
So I could walk over to Walgreens twice a week and get my lottery tickets and see if I can win enough money for a boat.
Oh my word.
Now, we all know that it's not likely to happen.
Yes.
On the other hand, I did win a motorcycle.
You did win a motorcycle, teaching me that you should always support causes you believe in.
That's right. This was the Autistic Society of Nassau County or something.
Yeah.
And she said, so what are we going to do with the motorcycle when we win it? I said, we're not winning the motorcycle. We are supporting a cause that we think is important. And then 2 weeks later, I got a call and said I won the motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
I think the object lesson was lost.
When Mom won the motorcycle, it was gone. But it did pay to get the asbestos removed from the...
It paid to get... Well, I sold it to the brother of a former student of mine who wanted it, and he was able to go up to the motorcycle shop and just go get it.
Yeah.
And he paid the taxes on it, because
Nice.
I hadn't touched it at all. And then he paid the taxes, then he bought the cycle for me, which paid to have the asbestos removed from the house, and bought that lovely chandelier over the dining room table.
Oh, I forgot that it bought the chandelier.
Yes, and I said, I can look at that chandelier every day.
Yes.
And it will light up my life.
And you can't say the same about a motorcycle.
No, and my balance was starting to go then.
Yes.
When I get a sinus infection, it affects my balance. And with teaching, I would get a sinus infection after I caught a cold, which I caught from my students. And so at least once a semester, I would have these little episodes where I'd lose my balance. And I thought, if I'm on a motorcycle I lose my balance, it's not good. Of course, another professor said it would change the whole perception of me by the students.
It'd be hilarious, is what it'd be.
It would be. And if I had been 10 years younger at that point, I might have actually kept it.
You might have done it, I know.
Or if I had won it in April instead of October.
Yeah.
It might have been a whole different story. Because I have in the past enjoyed riding motorcycles. I don't know that New York City is the place to ride it.
Yeah.
When I had ridden them before in the Blue Ridge Mountains, it's really different.
Sounds it.
Yeah. But anyway, walking over to Walgreens to win a boat, we'll see.
Could happen. You never know.
It could happen. We didn't think the motorcycle would happen either. Anything else?
Remember that? No, I left my other threads downstairs, so I can't continue that, so I'm continuing to pick out the thing that I did wrong previously that we've talked about before. But when we go back downstairs, I hope to finish, I hope by end of today to have the other 2 books completed. That's my goal for the evening. Because I think there's only so much black stitching one can stand on one thing. There are colors in it, and I might put some of the color pieces in it that I already know where they're going, but there's only so much you can do in one sitting using just one color. Yeah. So, yeah, I have slightly lost my knitting mojo.
Okay.
But that's okay. Unfortunately, it's right before Rhinebeck, and I had this whole epic plan for Rhinebeck, but
Well, I've been knitting sweaters and stuff. I don't know if there's stuff I can wear at Rhinebeck.
Yeah. So, and I mean, yes, we had stuff we could wear for last year, too, that we didn't get to wear. So, we hope you all have a great week, and we're going to go weave in some ends. And we'll see you all next week.
Bye,
y'all.